Good evening, and welcome to tonight's special segment. We've gathered an extraordinary panel to dive deep into a debate that has captivated minds for generations. Are villains born, or are they shaped by their circumstances? Joining us tonight are three fascinating figures. First, we have Loki, the infamous trickster and villain from the Marvel Universe. Next, we have Captain America, the embodiment of righteousness and moral integrity. And finally, Dr. Alice, a renowned psychologist who will help us understand the complex mind of Loki. Tonight, we're going to explore one of the most intriguing psychological questions out there. What really shapes a villain? Is it their upbringing, or is it a matter of personal choice? Let's dive in.
So now we're blaming everything on my childhood. How convenient. Sure, if I had a different past, maybe I'd be different. But who wouldn't turn out this way when they've been lied to and betrayed at every turn?
I get it, Loki. We all have our scars. But let's be honest, if you hadn't been deceived so many times, maybe you'd be on a different path. Our experiences shape us, but so do the choices we make.
Exactly. While a lack of love or nurture can absolutely affect someone's emotional development, not everyone who experiences neglect turns into a villain. At some point, you have to look at the individual choices Loki made along the way. The mind is incredibly complex.
Let's move on to something more specific. Could Loki have turned out differently if he had not been lied to and betrayed? Could he have chosen a better path?
Don't you get it? I've been lied to by everyone I've ever trusted. If the world hadn't conspired against me, I'd have been a ruler, not a monster. If I had been given the truth, who knows? Maybe I would have been the one leading, not tearing it all down.
Maybe, Loki. But at some point, the lies stopped being the reason, and your choices started defining who you are. We all get hurt, but it's the way we choose to move forward that really matters.
The question isn't whether Loki could have turned out differently, but whether the environment and betrayal led him to act the way he did. He certainly had the chance to choose differently. And sometimes, even after trauma, people find a way to do better. It's not just about the past. It's about the present choices.
All right, let's dig deeper into the philosophical side of things. Are Loki's choices truly his own, or are they controlled by fate? Is he just playing a role in a preordained script?
Fate? No. Fate doesn't control me. If I believed in fate, I wouldn't be standing here. I've made my own choices. Every step I've taken is mine. I refuse to let some grand destiny dictate what I can do.
You can say that, but the weight of destiny, of the circumstances you were born into, has to count for something. Not all of us have the luxury of making a clean choice. Life hands us cards, and sometimes they're stacked against us.
Fate is an interesting concept, but I would argue that it's not all about destiny. It's more about how people interpret their circumstances. Loki, in your case, you saw your life as a series of betrayals, but there were still opportunities for you to break free from that mindset.
That brings us to the next topic. Is Loki's rebellion a psychological response, or is it more about moral choices? Does his defiance stem from internal struggles, or is it a strategic decision?
Rebellion is my nature. I never asked for approval. I demanded respect. It's not about being morally good or bad. It's about having power and taking control. I wasn't born to follow. I was born to lead.
I can see that. But there's a difference between leadership and destruction, Loki. Leadership inspires, but rebellion, without a cause, can just lead to chaos. We all fight for something, but what are you really fighting for?
It's both. Rebellion often stems from deep-seated psychological pain, feelings of abandonment, rejection. But there's also a moral component, Loki. The way you chose to rebel, to destroy rather than build, says something about your internal conflict and the way you perceive the world.
Now, let's dive into the heart of this debate. Is Loki truly a born villain, or is he a product of society's failures? And can someone like him be redeemed?
I wasn't born evil. I was treated like a lesser being, pushed aside by those I trusted the most. Can you really blame me for wanting to be more? If society had seen me as an equal, maybe I wouldn't have gone down this road.
Everyone has a choice, Loki. Society shapes us, yes, but it's not an excuse for all the choices you've made. Can you still change? Maybe, but only if you truly want to.
Loki, your actions aren't just the result of society. They're also a response to how you perceive your place in the world. Redemption is possible for anyone, but it takes acknowledging the pain, understanding it, and actively choosing a different path.
Tonight, we've explored the complex psychology of one of the most fascinating characters in modern fiction. The question remains, can someone like Loki ever truly change, or are they forever a product of their past and environment? Thank you to our guests and to all of you watching at home. Remember, the mind is a labyrinth, and sometimes it's the choices we make that define us. Good night.